Good morning, happy Wednesday. Welcome back to Lovin Dubai Show podcast. Our top story today, we talked about delivery drivers, new initiatives being implemented to make their lives easier.
And all of us are on Instagram, on social media apps, but the biggest scams are happening on Instagram right now, where people are pretending to be your friends, your colleagues, your co-workers, and they're just like, dropping you DMs with all sorts of requests, either financial requests or requests for you to vote, and then you get scammed, you're locked out of your account. What's happening there, we talk about on the show.
You know, I'm so done with Instagram scams. Like, why do we have to remind ourselves and everyone around us to be vigilant? The people who are doing these scams need to be locked away.
Yeah.
And I do mean that. And then finally, we talked about a meal pre-order service on Emirates. Will this change the game for you in terms of your flights? We'd love to know. Good morning, Dubai. Welcome back to Lovin Dubai Show, where we go through the top trending stories across the country. Our top story today, delivery drivers' rest stops are here.
And also we talk about new urban planning rules that have been announced.
We'd love to get your thoughts on this. Emirates has announced a meal pre-order service.
And be aware of Instagram scams. We've all seen them, heard them, have them in our inbox. So just be vigilant of them.
We're deep diving into how you can avoid them. But before we get to all of that, if you watched the show yesterday, a massive congratulations. Lindsay Lohan has given birth to a beautiful, healthy boy. His name is Louis, which means sorry if I have butchered the pronunciation. It means shield and protector in Arabic. We love it. It's unique. It's unusual, but I really like it.
Louis is not that unusual. I've heard that name before and I love the name Louis.
I love the name. Louis. Is it Louis?
Louis.
Both.
So, yeah. Anyway.
But it got us thinking.
Baby names?
Baby names.
So you guys asked the question yesterday, you and Anisa asked on social media, conventional or, traditional or unique?
The unique, the weird and the wonderful, or your dad's uncle's name? Like, do you keep it in the family? Or are you going Apple?
Yeah, like Ali, Ali Jr., Ali Senior, Ali the Second, Ali the Third, Ali the Fourth, or go for, like
Moon Unit, which is a name by the late rock star Frank Zappa for his oldest daughter. He named her Moon Unit.
Yeah, or like Mars Rover. Name them after like the great space.
No, but this is an actual name, Moon Unit.
Yeah.
Or Shanda or Portabella after the mushroom, There's different names that you can go. We now have, so my late dad was called Billy, and two of my siblings have named their kids Billy. So there's 2/3 Billys in the family, and that's just 2 generations because people like to. I think it's such a nice tribute to family members. Mom, I hope you're not listening. It's such a nice tribute to family members to name them after.
That's true. Like you want to name them after your grandma because there's that sentimental value, and you're right. Like the generational naming.
It's a beautiful memory.
Yeah, but right now the trend is like accepting and owning individuality, and like naming them something extremely unique. And I think that's been mostly like carried on by celebrities.
True. So we obviously have like. They're the only ones we hear, because they're famous. So Gwyneth Paltrow, Chris Martin obviously famously named their child Apple. Then we have Northwest, Stormy, all the Kardashians are really wild with their names. We also have some less famous names. Cinnamon. Cricket.
Wow. Someone named their daughter Harry Poppins.
No. You have to think about the implications of the child.
You know what? I think it's the dad who messed up the spelling when he wrote the birth certificate because that's a dad thing. From Mary Poppins to Harry Poppins.
Burn the men. No, it's not. My sister called her daughter Alexandra and we were going to call her Alexa. But that was at the time when, it sounds like a very traditional name, but that was at the time when Alexa, the Google Home device came out.
Yeah.
And they were so concerned about kids being like, hey, Alexa, do this. Hey, Alexa, do that. But we don't call her Alexa anymore.
That builds character. Like a kid being bullied actually builds character. When I was younger, I used to tell my sister. I think
if you're a parent, we can't fathom because we're not parents, but just seeing my sister and how she deals. If you're a parent, the thought of your child getting bullied, I imagine is like the worst thing in the world. Like, how dare someone make my child feel in any way sad. Imagine if someone was being mean to your doggy.
Okay, you're right.
You know?
You're right. No,
Bullying
you're right.
is awful, and you never want your kids to feel sad. You spend your whole life trying to give them positive, happy experiences, and how dare another child? I get it. It puts hair on your back, makes you stronger. I do get what you're saying, but it's you don't want to set them up for that by a name like Harry Poppins, you know.
So, Ivana, Tinkle. Say it together.
No,
Ivana Tinkle.
They're not real names.
They are
actual.
No, they are actual names. People have named their kids Ivana Tinkle.
I have actual.
Those parents.
No, I have actual strange names here. You've got fake names that are like Harry Poppins. Ivana Tinkle is not.
They are actual legit names.
That was a joke that we would say in school.
Ivana Tinkle.
Yeah.
Oh.
So actually, speaking of avoiding bullying, Dorcas was actually a famous Christian biblical name back in the 1920s. It meant gazelle. However, it turned into a playground insult, and it's no longer a famous name. Dorcas.
You know what?
Dorcas.
Names, right? You have these like very unique names, right? And then you have names that are so difficult to pronounce that people make it whatever version of that name they want. And then your name's just gone down the drain. It's like now people call you randomly, like whatever you want, whatever they want, because they can't even pronounce your name. Those are the names to look out for. Like those are the parents you go approach and be like, why? Why did you do this to your kid?
But sometimes it's just different pronunciations, like Annika in our office.
Yeah.
I realized I've been mispronouncing her name. Massive apologies to Annika. And it's like Bedouin.
But
I've been pronouncing it my whole life, mispronouncing my whole life.
Bedouin.
It's Bedouin. I thought it was Bedouin.
Pronouncing it is different to like actually not being able to understand the letters and the way it forms together. It's just like...
Okay, I think we're going way off topic. It's 8:37, and we do have news this morning. Would you believe? As if you guys are new to the show, this is the Lovin Dubai show. We go live every single morning at 8:30 weekday mornings, and also in podcast format later in the day. And we love to read your comments before, during, and after the show. So a massive thank you to everyone for joining. Our top story today. This is great news for delivery drivers who work throughout the day, particularly in summer months. 365 fully equipped rest stations for delivery drivers have now been introduced across the UAE. These are rest stations, and they offer essential services basically to protect drivers from the scorching sun, protects them from heat exhaustion, and they were introduced by the Ministry of Human Resources and Amortization across the UAE.
And if and when you see it around the UAE, do send us pictures of it. We are so curious to see as to how it's coming up. And this measure is in response to the midday break from June 15th to September 15th between 12:30 p.m. and 3 p.m. The ministry shared the great news, adding our commitment to the safety of delivery workers in the summer is reflected in this initiative and implemented in coordination with the relevant private sector delivery companies with the support of several government entities. So as we can tell, it's like a full throttle government initiative that is rolling out across the country, and that too in support and looking out for the well-being of delivery drivers.
We are a city that runs on deliveries 24 hours a day. We're super blessed to have so much convenience. However, at the heart of that is people working really, really hard 24 hours a day. There's things that we can do as people. It's like climate change. There's things that we can all do, the small steps that we can take to make their life easier. But then on a government level, they've also introduced this incredible initiative, 365 different rest stops across the country, basically to make their jobs a little bit easier, which is great.
100%. And now we have like robots also coming out for deliveries, and they have drones coming out. Like delivery is just gonna like level up so much. I mean, I know it's like completely different to what we're talking about.
The day a robot actually delivers my shawarma, I think we're far from that.
No, what? It's already happening in Dubai Silicon Oasis.
No, I know, but the day it delivers to a random apartment block, wherever you live in Dubai, the day it actually is rolled out to people, that'll be the day.
We live in Dubai. You know it's not that far off. You give it another year, 2 years max. You'll have drone deliveries. You'll have robots. Like every building will have like 3-4 robots just like running around, and like dogs so confused as to like what on earth is happening.
Poor doggos. Speaking of what's to come in the near future in Dubai.
Okay, so new urban planning rules have been announced. Now, we love these announcements as it outlines what's to come in the near future in Dubai. And in this case, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, Vice President and Prime Minister of the UAE, has issued Law Number 16 of 2023 regulating urban planning in Dubai. So the law seeks to develop an integrated and effective urban planning system that encourages investment, sustainable development, prosperity, and improves the quality of life for citizens. It also aims to ensure the security and safety of the Emirates' community.
So, according to the law, a Supreme Committee for Urban Planning will be formed, composed of representatives of relevant authorities responsible for urban planning, and the effective start date of this law, the Dubai 2040 Urban Master Plan, is considered the approved structural plan for the Emirate of Dubai.
So the law integrates Dubai municipality with the authority to coordinate with relevant entities and authorities that oversee special development zones and free zones if necessary, enabling it to carry out the tasks and responsibilities specified by this law. And as per the law, it prohibited for any person to carry out or allow any development works in Dubai without obtaining related permits. So every person must ensure compliance with applicable legislations in the Emirate while executing development works and while in conditions of permits issued to them. So it's very, very strict that you obtain permission for anything that you're planning to carry out, change, amend. So just make sure you are in compliance with all of these regulations.
And in summary, the 2040 Master Plan is something we've spoken about a lot on the show, and now there is a Supreme Committee to manage that. Jumping into our next story, Emirates announces a meal pre-order service. Now, a lot of people are saying they had access to this before, but this is quite specific. So it's a new meal pre-ordering service where customers will be able to pre-select their hot main meal between 14 days and 24 hours in advance of your flight, meaning you will always get the meal you want without a shadow of doubt, and also Emirates will be able to reduce food waste.
The initiative will be rolled out from 25th July onwards in business class on all flights between Dubai and London Heathrow, London Gatwick, and London Stansted. So Emirates plans to expand the meal pre-order initiative to more routes and classes in the near future and is closely monitoring customer feedback from the initial rollout phase. So it's just the initial rollout phase now, like we mentioned. And of course, like as they see the results, they'll roll it out to more flights and more routes. And this is just a very amazing service that they have started initiating, because as we know, like during flights, right, like you have those situations where it's like you want a certain meal and it's like out, like they're out of it because you're all the way in the back, and by that time everyone wants exactly the same thing that you want. So this is perfect.
This is exactly it, because I think it can happen where the meal that you want is gone and you're left with another one, and also logistically I feel like it makes sense to know what people want before they get on the flight. It feels like a no-brainer in terms of food waste. So the response in general is yes. I know I'd like to be able to choose my meal before a restaurant. If I'm going out to eat this Friday, I'm on the menu. I'm choosing before I go. You think about, maybe I'm being healthy this day. Maybe it's the start of a holiday. I'm not being healthy, but I make the decision.
Yes.
And I like to choose before and then I look forward to the meal. So I quite like this initiative. And just in terms of the food waste and logistics of future, in terms of the future of flying, it will make sense to not have the option for people. It makes sense to have it more streamlined and you choose your meal before you get on the flight. So, but they want customer feedback, which is why we dropped the question in, and then you can really see what people want into our comments, because people do not hold back. And people in general are saying it's only business class for now. Yes, it is, but it will, if it's effective, be rolled out to other flights. It's only business class, people informed, yes, and in general people are responsive and positive to the news.
I'm actually surprised this wasn't like the norm to begin with. Why wasn't the norm to begin with? Like for people to choose exactly what meal they want before they board, and like to reduce all that food wastage from the get-go. Like why wasn't that a thing?
Do you think is the whole experience of, to me, trolley cart coming along the aisle, it reminds me of trains, you know, and it's just like, it was always a nice experience of like, what drink will you have? What meal will you have? And it kind of, but it feels a little bit archaic and traditional, and you're kind of waiting for something to be digitized in that sector. Like in my head, one day in future, rather than the hour and obviously the crews who need to roll the trolleys, and then there's turbulence, and then you don't know when your meal is coming. Maybe they'll put like, you have your, I don't know how they would do this in terms of the air vent, but in one day they'll have like a little passage and all the meals will come out on top and just drop down. Right?
Wow. I mean, you are thinking like futuristic.
But that's not, I don't know. Wouldn't that be an easier model?
Yeah.
Someone's designing planes thinking that's not possible. We're never going to do that.
Food coming down from the vents.
Not from the vents, but it would be an open shaft, and then they could close it over because it still allows the air. You still have your light, but then at mealtime, and everyone eats meals at the same time, they close over the shafts and all the meals come out on these trays. Wouldn't be that hard.
Like a Yo sushi belt.
Like a Yo sushi belt on an Emirates flight. Who's listening?
You make that happen, Casey.
I'll
Patent that idea and make that happen.
I just went, I love a flight on a meal.
Meal on a flight.
Meal on a flight. I love airplane food. So as soon as I get that smell, you're waiting for an hour, and I'm thinking, I wish I was eating right now.
Airplane food for
airplane food.
the
particularly
win.
Emirates is just
100%.
the best.
Once they gave me wok noodles, it's like, it makes your day.
What?
They gave me wok noodles.
Oh, where were you flying?
In Bali. That makes sense, right?
That's what's cool, because the meals are always regional and it gets you excited for where you're going.
100%. But of course, like them even thinking like, let's try this out with one route and see how it goes. It's a great step towards like rolling it out completely all across the board. Because like Casey said, like this does help so much in reducing food wastage. And of course, like it has your preference on board. And if you choose a certain meal, it's like you make your bed, you lay in it now, finish. Like you've chosen that, stick with it.
Yeah.
Because I've seen people on flights choosing like a chicken, like, oh no, what they're having is so much better. Can you please trade and give me a beef? Like, no.
And that, of course, would happen, and that would be a concern because obviously, as a paying guest, and flights aren't cheap, Emirates would probably be concerned about people changing their minds when they get on the flight and they see the other option.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, business is business. It's like my mum on a flight. She'll be looking into business class thinking, what are they eating? She asks. And is there any left? Sometimes
Love
they
that.
give it to her. Yeah, good for her.
Yeah.
When you get over 70, you can do what you want.
Of course. That is your prime time.
Yeah. Until then, we need to respect.
But guys, how many of y'all have just played around with food orders and like exchange? Let us know. We know one of y'all is watching. But we'll jump into our next story. Be aware of Instagram scams. Those of y'all on Instagram right now, please listen up. So scams have become an unfortunate reality of our digital age, preying on unsuspecting individuals and organizations around the world, from phishing emails and fake websites to fraudulent investment schemes, romance scams, and more. The tactics employed by scammers continue to evolve, making it increasingly challenging to identify and avoid them. And lately, UAE residents a group of residents fell prey to a scam going around on Instagram. These scams present themselves as people UAE residents already know and are asking them to vote in a competition.
Which is easy to fall for, by the way. So the scammers, what they're doing is they're sending a message on Instagram pretending to be someone you might already know. They play their part. It could be a colleague, a friend, an acquaintance, etc. And they ask you to vote for them in a competition. So, for example, imagine we're besties, you and me, the audience, and I message you and I'm like, hey, vote for me in a competition. The competition they send is titled Arab and Famous. So if I'm asking you to vote me in this competition, Arab and Famous, it is a scam. However, when their target presses the link and puts in the respective details, they find themselves locked out of their own Instagram account. Hence, the scam continues as the scammers take the newly hacked account and continue this ploy to a new account's followers.
So Iona shared this story via Instagram to raise awareness when 3 of her friends fell prey to the scams. Now, it is important to be skeptical and exercise caution when you encounter suspicious offers or requests. Always verify the legitimacy of websites, emails, or phone calls by independently researching the information provided.
So true. And also, obviously, we say it and we have to re-say it over and over again because it's so easy to fall prey to these scams. Never share personal or financial details with unknown or untrusted sources. You must regularly update security software and passwords to protect yourself against potential breaches. Lastly, stay informed about the latest scams educate yourself on common tactics used by scammers to stay one step ahead. I don't like using the phrase educate yourself.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm uncommon saying, how did you fall prey? Educate yourself. I don't mean it, but I do.
Condescending. Yeah, educate yourself. But yeah, question everything in this digital age. Question everything, every message you get, every request you get, every link sent to you, question it.
This one in particular, you can see how scammers are capitalizing on a bit of an influencer society that we have here in Dubai.
Yeah.
A lot of people might have a couple of thousand followers. So if you were to get a request from someone saying, hey, vote for me in Arab and Famous, I can actually think of about 20 people I'd believe.
Yeah,
I'd be like, yeah. And your immediate response as a person to do a nice thing is, yeah, no bother.
Yeah.
Of course I'll vote for you. And you get locked out of your account. That's not what you want.
I mean, you go to do a nice thing, you know, it's like, you go to do a nice thing and this is how the universe rewards you for it.
How are the scammers making money out of this one?
Wow. Good one. Good question.
Are they just...
I'm sure there are ways, like maybe data?
You're saying it's just data.
Yeah, probably. But I mean, like, of course, it's like you have 3-4 accounts and you don't scam people out of their money and use them to like get more and then you get the money. I don't know how it works, but they're smart, they're evolved, and we just need to be so intelligent. And that too with AI bots coming out and imitating voices now. Like, it's just getting scarier and scarier. You just have to question reality as a whole.
Yeah, you have a close circle of 3 friends. Do not move beyond that. I bet you that's a new episode of Black Mirror. Like, you can only trust your core 3. Okay, it's 8:51 on a Wednesday morning, which means we are about to say goodbye. Have a brilliant rest of the day, and we'll see you tomorrow morning, same time, same place. Goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me. A massive thank you to all those tuning in, and a big thank you to our producer, Shahir, and all the behind-the-scenes crew members like Ali Baba, Ali Khalil, and Parth.
This was a Lovin Dubai production as part of Augustus Media Podcast Network.